We got Roman Jeeper. Shalom, brother. For a minute, the link was broken. Yeah, I messed it up. I guess I deleted it. That's why I'm late, because I was posting it over on Facebook and Patreon and putting a post up on YouTube. Wanted to get this out to as many people as I can. I like to have a bunch of people together reading the Word. I really enjoy that. So how you guys doing? Good, I hope. Ready to read Joshua. Just one book back from Judges that we read yesterday. We finished the book of Judges. A lot of action-packed stories in the book of Judges and also in Joshua. So, it's been a day, you guys. Truth in the Word, shalom. Thanks for being here. Franklin Farmstead, shalom, you guys. All right. Bless you guys. All right. Before we start reading, why don't we open up in a little word of prayer? Heavenly Father, pray that you just open up our eyes to see your word and to glean from it what you would have us take away today. Father, I pray that you would be glorified by this time that we're spending in your word, and that you would just make our hearts fertile ground to receive what you have in here. And I pray for blessings and provision and protection on each of the people listening. Pray that you just keep your angels guarding each family and their children. And we just are honored to call you our King. We love you. And we bless your name in the name of Yeshua. Amen. All right. Pray for the storms. My great aunt lives in Perrytown, Texas. It hit 3 blocks from her house. So far, at least 50 homes destroyed. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let's just join together and lift them up, too. I wasn't aware of the storms. I've been crazy stressed and busy all day. But, Heavenly Father, I just want to lift up anybody that's been affected by the tornado, or I believe it was a tornado. Father, I just pray that you make all things new. You restore what was broken. You heal the people who are injured. Comfort those who are potentially missing their loved ones. Father, I just ask that your hand be over that situation, and you do what you do, and you just somehow turn the brokenness into beauty, and you use it for testimonies and for people to come together and to be your hands and feet. And Father, I just pray this in the name of Yeshua. And we want to lift up Roman Jeeper's aunt too, and anybody in their surrounding area, that you just comfort them and help them recover what was lost. In the name of Yeshua. Amen. Oh boy, it's been a crazy day for me. One of those days that kind of wanted to bail on getting on the internet, to be completely honest with you guys, but I'm committed to doing this. I want to do better at keeping my word and following through with my commitments. I'm committed to finishing this Bible reading plan with you guys. There will be some videos that I'll need to pre-record, and they won't all be live. Farm Ma, bless you, shalom, thanks for being here. But also we got baby coming in about, I don't know, I think it's 7 weeks now or 6 weeks. It's getting far along, and right towards the end, I'm probably going to start pre-recording a bunch of these so that they're scheduled to post as usual 5 days a week, but they won't be live. And there are going to be some of those coming up shortly too. Yeah, truth in the word. August 3rd's the due date, and it's flying up on us, and we're trying to get things squared away before that date. Um, but anyways, keep us in prayer. Um, let's go ahead and get into the word, shall we? All right, Joshua, chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moshe, saying, Moshe, my servant, is dead. So now arise, pass over the Jordan, and you and all this people to the land which I am giving to them, to the children of Israel. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given you, as I spoke to Moshe. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun is your border. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. Do not fail. I do not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, to guard to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. And have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you wherever you go. One of the most popular verses, and one of my favorite as well. And it does mean the same thing, but and Yehoshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the midst of the camp and command the people, saying, prepare food for yourselves, for within 3 days you are passing over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to possess. Yes.
His car. He said it was right here.
His car.
Yeah. No? Okay.
It's not right here.
Okay, I'll go ask.
Okay. Maybe it's under the dog on the couch or something. All right. Sorry, back to it. Verse 12. And Yehoshua spoke to the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, saying, remember the word which Moshe, servant of Yahweh, commanded you, saying, Yahweh your Elohim is giving you rest, and he shall give you this land. Let your wives, your little ones, and your livestock stay in the land which Moshe gave you beyond the Jordan. But you shall pass before your brothers in fives, all your brave fighters, and shall help them, until Yahweh has given your brothers rest, as unto you. So shall they also take possession of the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and shall possess that which Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, gave you beyond the Jordan, toward the rising of the sun. Hey, will you get in the live so that you can see comments? Oh, you just did? Thank you. You're beautiful. I love it when you smile. And they answered Yehoshua, saying, all that you have commanded us we do, and wherever you send us we go. According to all that we obeyed Moshe, so we obey you. Only let Yahweh your Elohim be with you. as he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your mouth and does not obey your words, only all that you command him is put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Chapter 2. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, secretly sent out 2 men from Shittim to spy, saying, Go, see the land of Yerho. And they went and came to the house of a woman, a whore, and her name was Rahab, and they lay down there. But it was reported to the sovereign of Yerho, saying, See, men of the children of Israel have come here tonight to search out the land. And the sovereign of Yerho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you, who have entered your house, for they have come to search out all the land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hid them. So she said, The men came to me, but I do not know where they were from. But I did not know where they were from. Then it came to be, as the gate was being shut, when it was dark, that the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, so that you overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid out on the roof. And the men pursued them by the way to the Yarden, to the fords, and to the shut, and they shut the gate afterward as soon as the pursuers had gone out. And before they lay down, she came up to them on the roof. And she said to the men, I know that Yahweh has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away because of you. For we have heard now Yahweh dried up the water of the sea of reeds, and you when you came out of Mitzrayim, and what you did to the 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you put under the ban. And when we heard, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in anyone because of you. For Yahweh your Elohim For Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, in the heavens above and on earth beneath. And now, please swear to me by Yahweh, since I have shown you loving commitment, that you also show loving commitment to my father's house, and shall give me a true token, and shall spare my father and my mother and my brothers and my sisters, and all that they have, and shall deliver our lives from death. And the men said to her, Our lives for yours, if you do not expose this matter of ours, then it shall be, when Yahweh has given us the land, that we shall treat you in loving commitment and truth. Honey, he's all right. So she let them down by a rope through the window of her house, for her house was on the city wall, and she dwelt on the wall. And she said to them, Go to the mountain, lest the pursuers come upon you, and you shall hide there 3 days, until the pursuers have returned, and afterward go on your way. And the men said to her, We are released from this oath of yours which you have made us swear, unless, when we come up to the land, you bind this line of scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. And unless you bring your father and your mother and your brothers and all your father's household into your home, into your own home. It shall be that anyone who goes outside the doors of your house into the street, his blood is on his own head, and we are innocent. And anyone who is with you in the house, his blood is on our head if a hand is laid on him. And if you expose this matter of ours, then we shall be released from your oath which you made us swear. And she said, Let it be according to your words. And she went away, and they went, and she bound the scarlet cord in the window. So they left and came to the mountain and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers returned. And the pursuers sought them in all the way, but did not find them. Then the 2 men returned and came down from the mountain and passed over, and they came to Yehoshua, son of Nun, and related to him all that had befallen them. And they said to Yehoshua, truly Yahweh has given all the land into your hands, and also all the inhabitants of the land have melted away because of us. Chapter 3. And Yehoshua rose early in the morning and set out from Shittim and came to the Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and stayed there before they passed over. And it came to be, after 3 days, that the officers went into the midst of the camp, and they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Only keep a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it, so that you know which way to go. For you have not passed over this way before. And Yehoshua said to the people, set yourselves apart, for tomorrow Yahweh is doing wonders in your midst. And Yehoshua spoke to the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. So the people took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, this day I begin to make you great before the eyes of all Israel, so that they know that I am with you, as I was with Moshe. And you commanded the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when you come to the edge of the water of the Jordan, stand in the Jordan. That's the Jordan River. And Yehoshua said to the children of Israel, come near and hear the words of Yahweh your Elohim. And Yehoshua said, by this you shall know that the living El is in your midst, and that he is certainly driving out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. See, the ark of the covenant of the master of all the earth is passing over before you into the Jordan. And now take for yourselves 12 men from the tribes of Israel, 1 man from every tribe. And it shall be, as soon as the soles of your feet, of the feet of the priests who bear the ark of Yahweh, the master of all the earth, come to rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan are cut off, the waters that come down from upstream and stand as a heap. And it came to be, when the people set out from their tents to pass over the Jordan, that the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, with the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. Yeah, tell him to sing a little quieter, please. You guys hear my little guy in there just making a joyful noise? Verse 15. And as those bearing the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests bearing the ark dipped the edge of the water, now the Jordan overflows at its banks during all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from the upstream stood still and rose in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Sarathan. And the waters going down into the sea of the Araba, the salt sea, were completely cut off, and the people passed over opposite Jericho. And the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of Yahweh stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel passed over on dry ground until all the nation had completely passed over the Jordan. Chapter 4. And it came to be, when the entire nation had completely passed over the Jordan, that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, saying, take for yourselves 12 men from the people, 1 man from every tribe, and command them, saying, take for yourselves 12 stones from here, out of the midst of the Jordan, and from the place where the priest's feet stood firm. And you shall bring them with you, and leave them in the camp in which you spend the night. And Yehoshua called the 12 men whom he had appointed over the children of Israel, 1 man from every tribe. And Yehoshua said to them, pass over before the ark of Yahweh your Elohim into the midst of the Jordan, and each one of you take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel. So that this shall be a sign in your midst when your children ask in time to come, saying, What do these stones mean to you? Then you shall answer them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, when it passed over the Jordan. The waters of the Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a remembrance to the children of Israel forever. And the children of Israel did so, as Yehoshua commanded, and took up 12 stones from the midst of the Jordan, as Yahweh had spoken to Yehoshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and took them over with them to their camp and laid them down there. And Yehoshua also set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests who bore the ark of the covenant stood. And they are there to this day. And the priests who bore the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until every matter was finished that Yahweh had commanded had commanded Yehoshua to speak to the people, according to all that Moshe had commanded Yehoshua. And the people hastened and passed over. And it came to be, when all the people had completely passed over, that the ark of Yahweh and the priests passed over in the presence of all the people. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh passed over in fives before the children of Israel, as Moshe had spoken to them. About 40,000 armed ones of an army of the army passed over before Yahweh for battle to the desert plains of Jericho. Verse 14. On that day, Yahweh made Yehoshua great in the eyes of all Israel, and they feared him, and as they had feared Moshe all the days of his life. And Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Command the priests who bear the ark of the witness, and let them come up from the Jordan. And Yehoshua commanded the priests, saying, Come up from the Jordan. And it came to be, when the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh came up from the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet touched the dry land, that the waters of the Jordan returned to their place and flowed over all its banks as before. And the people came up from the Jordan on the 10th day of the first new moon, and they camped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan, Yehoshua set up in Gilgal. And he said to the children of Israel, saying, When your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What are these stones? Then you shall let your children know, saying, Israel passed over the Jordan on dry land, and Yahweh your Elohim dried up the waters of the Jordan before you until you passed over, as Yahweh your Elohim did to the sea of reeds, which he dried up before us until we passed over. So that all the peoples of the earth shall know the hand of Yahweh, that it is strong, so that you shall fear Yahweh your Elohim forever. Chapter 5. And it came to be, when all the sovereigns of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan westward, and all the sovereigns of the Canaanites who were by the sea, heard that Yahweh had dried up the waters of the Jordan before the children of Israel, until we were passed over. Oh, I just lost my spot. Until we had passed over, that their heart melted, and there was no spirit in them any longer, because of the children of Israel. At that time Yahweh said to Yehoshua, Make knives of flint for yourselves, and circumcise your sons of Israel again the second time. And Yehoshua made knives of flint for himself, and circumcised the sons of Israel at the hill of foreskins. And this is why Yehoshua circumcised them. All the people who came out of Mitzrayim, who were males, all the men of battle, had died in the wilderness on the way, after they had come out of Mitzrayim. For all the people who came out had been circumcised, but all the people who were born in the wilderness on the way as they came out of Mitzrayim had not been circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness till all the nation till all the nation, the men of battle who came out of Mitzrayim, were consumed. Because my phone's dying. It's okay. Nope, can't do it. Because they did not obey the voice of Yahweh, whom Yahweh swore not to show them the land which Yahweh had sworn to their fathers that he would give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. And Yehoshua circumcised their sons, whom he raised up in their place, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not been circumcised on the way. And it came to be, when they had completed circumcising all the nation, that they stayed in their places in their camp until they were healed. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, Today I have rolled away the reproach of Mitzrayim from you. So the name of the place is called Gilgal to this day. And the children of Israel camped in Gilgal and performed the Passover, on the 14th day of the new moon, at evening on the desert plains of Jericho. And they ate of the stored grain of the land on the morrow after Pesach, unleavened bread and roasted grain on the same day. And the manna ceased on the day after they had eaten the stored grain of the land. And the children of Israel no longer had manna, but they ate the food of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to be, when Yehoshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked and saw a man standing opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Yehoshua went to him and said to him, Are you for us or for our adversaries? And he said, No, for I have come as captain of the host of Yahweh. And Yehoshua fell on his face to the earth and did obeisance and said to him, What is my master saying to his servant? And the captain of the host of Yahweh said to Yehoshua, Take your sandals off your foot, for the place where you stand is set apart. And Yehoshua did so. And chapter 6, and Jericho was shut up tight because of the presence of the sons of Israel, none going out and none coming in. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, See, I have given Jericho and its sovereign, mighty brave men into your hand. And you shall go around the city, all the men of battle going around the city once. Do this for 6 days, and let 7 priests bear the 7 shofarot. This is kind of like the story we read with Gideon, but now it's Yehoshua. And let the 7 priests bear 7 shofarot of the Yobalim before the ark, and on the 7th day go around the city 7 times, while the priests blow with the shofarot. And it shall be when they make a long blast with the horn of a yobel, and when you hear the voice of the shofar, that all the people shout with a great sound, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall go up every man straight before him. And Yehoshua son of Nun called the priests and said to them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 shofarot of Yobalim before the ark of Yahweh. And he said to the people, Pass over and go around the city, and let him who is armed pass over before the ark of Yahweh. And it came to be, when Yehoshua had spoken to the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 shofarot of the Yobalim before Yahweh passed over and blew the shofarot, and the ark of the covenant of Yahweh went after them. And the armed men went before the priests who blew the shofarot, and the rear guard came after the ark, going on and blowing with the shofarot. And Yehoshua had commanded the people, saying, Do not make a sound or cause your voice to be heard, nor let any word come out of your mouth until the day I say to you, shout. Then you shall shout. And the ark of Yahweh went around the city, going around once, and they came into the land and stayed in the camp. And Yehoshua rose up early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Yahweh. And the 7 priests bearing 7 shofrot of the Yobalim before the ark of Yahweh were walking, going on, and they blew with the shofrot. And the armed men went before them, but the rear guard came after the ark of Yahweh going on, and blowing with the shofrot. And the second day they went around the city once and returned to the camp. Thus they did 6 days. And it came to be on the 7th day that they arose early about the dawning of the day, and went around the city 7 times in this way. Only on that day they went around the city 7 times. And it came to be at the 7th time, the priests blew with the shofrot, and Yehoshua said to the people, shout, for Yahweh has given you the city, and the city shall be put under the ban. It and all that is in it belongs to Yahweh. Only Rahab the whore is to live, she and all who are in her house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And you, by all means, guard yourselves from that which is under the ban, lest you become under the ban when you take of that which is under the ban, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and shall trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of bronze and iron are set apart to Yahweh. They go into the treasury of Yahweh. And the people shouted when the priests blew the shofar. And it came to be, when all the people heard the voice of the shofar, that all the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down flat. And the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they captured the city. And they put under the ban all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. And to the 2 men who had spied out the land of Yehoshua, said, go into the house of the woman, the whore, and from there bring out the woman and all that she has, as you swore to her. And the young men, the spies, went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brothers and all that she had, so they brought out all her relatives and set them outside the camp of Israel. And they burned the city and all that was in it with fire. Only the silver and the gold and the vessels of bronze and iron they put into the treasury of the house of Yahweh. However, Yehoshua kept alive Rahab the whore and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in the midst of Israel to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Yehoshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Yehoshua warned them at that time, saying, cursed is the man before Yahweh who rises up and builds this city Jericho. He lays its foundation with his firstborn, and with his youngest he sets up its gates. And Yahweh was with Yehoshua, and a report about him was in all the land. Chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a trespass regarding that which is under the ban, for Achan, son of Carmi, son of Zabdi, son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, took of that which is under the ban, and the displeasure of Yahweh burned against the children of Israel. Now Yehoshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-awen, on the east side of Bethel, and spoke to them, saying, go up and spy out the land. And the men went up and spied out Ai. And they returned to Yehoshua and said to him, let not all the people go up, but let about 2 or 3,000 men go up and strike Ai. Do not make all the people toil up there, for the people of Ai are few. And about 3,000 men went up there from the people, but they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai struck about 36 men, and they pursued them from before the gates as far as Shebarim, and smote them on the descent. So the hearts of the people melted and became like water. And Yehoshua tore his garments and fell to the earth on his face before the ark of Yahweh until evening, both he and the elders of Israel, and they put dust on their heads. And Yehoshua said, O Master Yahweh, why have you brought this people over the Jordan at all, to give us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay beyond the Jordan. O Yahweh, what do I say when Israel turns its back before its enemies, and the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land hear, and shall surround us and cut off our name from the earth? What then do you do for your great name? And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, Rise up, why are you lying on your face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. And they have even taken some of that which is under the ban, and have both stolen and deceived, and also put it under their own goods, among their own goods, And the sons of Israel shall not be able to stand before their enemies. They are going to turn their backs before their enemies, for they have become accursed. I am not with you any more, unless you destroy that which is under the ban from your midst. Rise up, set the people apart, and you shall say, Set yourselves apart for tomorrow, because thus said Yahweh Elohim of Israel, that which is under the ban is in your midst, O Israel. You are not able to stand before your enemies until you put away that which is under the ban out of your midst. And you shall be brought near in the morning according to your tribes, and it shall be the tribe which Yahweh takes according and you shall be brought near in the morning according to your tribes, and it shall be the tribe which Yahweh takes comes according to clans, and the clan which Yahweh takes comes by households, and the household which Yahweh takes comes by men. And it shall be that he who is taken with that which is under the ban is burned with fire, he and all he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Yahweh, and because he has committed wickedness in Israel. So Yehoshua rose early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Yehudah was taken. And he brought the clan of Yehudah, and he took the clan of the Zarhites, and he brought the clan of the Zarhites by men of Zebdi was taken. And he brought his household by men, and Achan son of Carmi, son of Zabdi, son of Zerah, the tribe of Yehudah, was taken. Then Yehoshua said to Achan, My son, now give esteem to Yahweh Elohim of Israel, and make confession to him, and please declare to me what you have done. Do not hide it from me. So Achan answered Yehoshua and said, Truly I have sinned against Yahweh Elohim of Israel, and this is what I did. When I saw among the spoil a lovely garment from Shinar, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold, weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them, and see, they are hidden in the ground in the midst of my tent, with the silver under it. And Yehoshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and see, it was hidden in his tent, with the silver under it. And they took them from the midst of the tent, brought them to Yehoshua and to all the children of Israel, and laid them before Yahweh. Then Yehoshua and all all Israel with him, took Achan son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garments, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and donkeys, and sheep, and his tents, and all that he had, and they brought them to the valley of Achor. And Yehoshua said, Why have you troubled us? Yahweh does trouble you today. Then all Israel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones, which remains to this day. Then Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his displeasure. Therefore the name of that place has been called the Valley of Achor to this day. And muster the rock pile. That's kind of where that one comes from. All right. Chapter 8. We're reading up to chapter 13 today. You guys hanging in there? Thanks for hanging in there. All right. Chapter 8. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, Do not be afraid nor be discouraged. Take all the soldiers with you and arise. Go up to Ai. See, I have given into your hand the sovereign of Ai and his people and his city and his land. So you shall do to Ai and its sovereign as you did to Jericho and its sovereign. Only its spoil and its livestock you take as plunder for yourselves. Set for yourselves an ambush for the city behind it. And Yehoshua and all the soldiers rose up to go to Ai, and Yehoshua chose 30,000 mighty brave men and sent them away by night, and commanded them, saying, See, you are going to lie in ambush against the city, behind the city. Do not go very far from the city, but all of you shall be prepared, while I and all the people who are with me approach the city. It shall be, when they come out against us, as formerly, that we shall flee before them, and they shall come out after us, till we have drawn them from the city, as though saying, They are fleeing before us, as formerly, and we shall flee before them. Then you shall rise from the ambush and seize the city, and Yahweh your Elohim shall give it into your hand. And it shall be, when you capture the city, that you burn the city with fire. Do according to the word of Yahweh. See, I have commanded you. This is kind of a similar tactic that we read in the book of Judges with the ambush written in that book. And Yehoshua sent them out, and they went to lie in ambush and stayed between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Yehoshua stayed that night in the midst of the people. And Yehoshua rose up early in the morning and inspected the people, and went up, and the elders of Israel before the people to Ai. And the soldiers who were with him went up and drew near, and came before the city, and camped on the north side of Ai, with the valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men, and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of the city. So they stationed the people, all the army that was on the north of the city, and its rear guard on the west of the city. And Yehoshua went up that night into the midst of the valley. And it came to be, when the sovereign of Ai saw it, that the men of the city hastened and rose up early and went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at an appointed place before the desert plain. But he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. And Yehoshua and all Israel let themselves be beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people who were in Ai were called together to pursue them, and they pursued Yehoshua, and they and were drawn away from the city. So there was not a man left in Ai nor Bethel who did not go out after Israel, and they left the city open and pursued Israel. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, "Stretch out the spear that is in your hand toward Ai, and give it into your hand." And Yehoshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city, and the ambush rose up quickly from their place, and they ran at the stretching out of his hand, and entered the city, and took it, and hastened to burn the city with fire. And the men of Ai looked behind them, and saw the smoke of the city rising to the heavens, and there was no power in them to flee this way or that way. For the people who had fled to the wilderness turned back on the pursuers. For when Yehoshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had captured the city, and that the smoke of the city went up, they turned back and struck the men of Ai. The others also came out of the city against them, so they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side, some on that side. And they struck them until none were left, and none had escaped.
No, come here, buddy.
But the sovereign of Ai, they caught alive and brought him to Yehoshua. And it came to be, when Israel ended killing all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness where they pursued them, and when they all had fallen by the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all Israel returned to Ai and struck it with the edge of the sword. And it came to be, when all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, all men of Ai. And Yehoshua did not draw back his hand with which he stretched out the spear until he had put all the inhabitants of Ai under the ban. Only the livestock and the spoil of that city Israel took as booty for themselves, according to the word of Yahweh, which he had commanded Yehoshua. And Yehoshua burned Ai and made it a heap forever, a ruin to this day. And he hanged the sovereign of Ai on a tree until evening. And at sunset Yehoshua commanded that they should take his corpse down from the tree and throw it at the entrance of the gate of the city, and raise over it a great heap of stones to this day. And Yehoshua built a slaughter place to Yahweh Elohim of Israel in Mount Ebal, as Moshe the servant of Yahweh had commanded the children of Israel. It is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, a slaughter place of unhewn stones, over which no man has wielded iron. And they offered on it ascending offerings to Yahweh, and slaughtered peace offerings. And there, in the presence of the children of Israel, they wrote on the stones a copy of the Torah of Moshe, which he had written. Go. And all the children and all Israel, the sojourner as well as the native, with the elders and officers and judges, stood on either side of the ark before the priests, the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Half of them were in front of Mount Gerizim, the other half of them in the front of Mount Ebal, as Moshe the servant of Yahweh had commanded before, that they should bless the people of Israel. And afterward he read all the words of the Torah, the blessings and the cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the Torah. There was not a word of all that Moshe had commanded which Yehoshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the sojourners who accompanied them. Everybody was listening to the word. All right, I'm gonna turn my brightness all the way down. I got like 5%, and I got like 3 more chapters to go. Easily 3 more chapters. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this, you guys. My phone's about dead. You know what? I'm going to pause it right there because my phone is for sure not going to make it for the rest of this reading. I'll break this up into probably 2 more parts, and or maybe I'll just read the rest of it in one go. But anyways, yeah. Put your bookmark at chapter 9. That's where we'll pick up tomorrow. Book of Joshua. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Yeah. Awkward. Don't know how to sign it off. I don't know. You guys want to chat for a minute, and then I'll bounce off of here. Sauce and got your Caleb House swag a few months back. Nice. Bless you. Yeah, thank you guys for supporting Caleb House. That's awesome. Oh, your word. You're welcome, Truth in the Word. Your word. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. I love doing this. I like hanging out with you guys. So, yeah, I guess I'm just going to sign off, but I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, Truth in the Word. Yep, just being obedient, doing this thing, right? So, but anyways, bless you guys. Thanks again for being here. We're going to sign off for now, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. We'll do another live stream, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And I pray that you guys have a blessed evening. Shalom, y'all.